Good morning, everybody. How's it going? We're halfway through the week. Oh, what an amazing week it is. Tag your business bestie, because we don't believe in growing alone over here. Grab your contractor's notebook. And I am going to ask a favor for those of you who believe. If you don't believe, just be quiet. I have a woman that I consider a friend who is going through something physically, mentally, and emotionally. I'm just asking you to keep her in prayers. That's it. That's all. We don't know. We all know the drill. You don't know the details to keep her in prayer. So, good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to this morning's installment of Contractors Chatter. There, hmm, there's a lot and not a lot going on in the government world. We are 90-ish days away from the election. We are 2 weeks away from the DNC, and I will be covering the Democratic National Convention. We're talking about what the platform is and how it relates to business. We have enough political pundits. We're talking about what the platform is and how it relates to business. Because who sits on Pennsylvania Avenue affects legislation, affects the flow of dollars. And as business founders, for those of us who sit in the seat of the CEO, for those of us who are decision makers, thought leaders, we have to be aware of it. I don't care how you fall on the political spectrum. We should be aware of who's at Pennsylvania Avenue. So that is why I'm discussing the election and all that comes along with it. One of the things I do find interesting that is going on, and from what I've been reading, some of the military guidance that's coming out, all of our military is talking about strengthening defense of bases. Now, that's something they do every few years anyway. However, with the geopolitical standing, it is something that we need to look at, especially with the escalation between in the Middle East. Is that the area considered Middle East? In the West Bank area, the continuing Ukraine saga, the China and everything, China situation. So if you are an organization that provides international services, if you're an organization that provides international aid, if you're an organization that provides construction, I predict in Q1, Q2, and 3, we're going to see an uptick in construction RFPs. We're going to see an uptick there's already an uptick in training. Good morning, Fuller. So I would prepare for that. I talked about this yesterday and I will mention it again. If you're looking at doing work with defense, and I'm going to go here, and let me back up to come forward. The government is split formally, informally, in the two parts, civilian and not civilian. Anything not civilian is related to defense, DOD, NIH, CIA, that type of stuff. Civilian would be like the Senate, Hill, Homeland Security would be considered civilian, that type of stuff. So some of my nomenclature I'm trying to back up to come forward with. We are going to see a lot of, good morning, Sheila. We're going to see an uptick, well, a continuing uptick in training and cross training and leadership because of the fallout from the election, the campaigning for the election. We're also going to see, these are predictions, we're going to see an uptick in construction. I don't care how you feel about the wall. There are some other things going on that's going to lead to an uptick in construction. Period, point blank. I see a lot of organizational reviewing that's going to come out. And when I went to say the name fell out my head. But there's going to be a lot of organizational reviews, analysis, best practices. We're going to see some of that come out in I would say Q2 of the government fiscal year. Because Q1 is going to be about getting the president situated. I don't care who wins. Q1 is going to be about getting them situated, getting that budget in, because whoever the next president is going to be submitting the FY26 budget. And that budget has to be submitted to Congress by, I believe it's the second Tuesday in February, which is why the State of the Union address is typically done in January. However, with the swearing in January, the State of the Union address may be a little later. So, Q1, government fiscal year, we're also going to see a little funkiness in SAMs. I had somebody in my community ask me about this, so let me tell you. If you're not registered, get registered. If you're going to be looking for opportunities and you're looking in SAMs and you're looking October 1st, that first 2 weeks of the new fiscal year, it's going to look funky because the government is resetting. It's putting in the new budget. It's recalibrating. So it's going to look funky. And now if somebody is saying, why she's talking about October and it's only August? Because government contractors plan for the future while looking at the present. And too many people say, I'm going to wait till the next year to get my contracting done. And the next year for government contractors is October 1st. And people go in there October 1st expecting to see all these contracts, and SAMS looks like nothing. Well, October 1st is the first of the year for the government, and the first of the year for anything, the system looks like nothing because it's doing a total upload. So expect it to look nonsensical for a while. And then with the changes, because everybody thinks electing and appointing and term limits is better than having appointed stability, people are leaving positions and then you're having to wait for appointment of new positions. That's another upload. So the continuity that used to exist in these systems no longer exist and have been replaced by this desire to appoint people, and the appointments have to go through the confirmation process. So if you're waiting until October, you're going to see the system look funky. If you're using The free system, it's going to look funky. I'm just telling you like it is. It's not a bad thing. I'm just telling you be prepared for what it's going to look like. But back to today. Tomorrow, I am hosting a contractors roundtable to discuss government certifications. What do they really do? What are they? And the difference between a set aside and goals. People think all certifications are the same, and they are not. If you're not registered, you're not going to see it because I'm not streaming it. It's on a private link that you'll only receive if you're registered for the class. Point blank simple. So register for the class so you can join in. It's at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's informational. I did this masterclass once years ago. I'm doing it again because I see the need to do it again because people really do not understand how certifications work. You can scan the QR code on YouTube. If you go to the community section, the description is there. Scan the QR code, click the link. Facebook, LinkedIn, same thing with you. Click the link, scan the code, you can register. TikTok, I believe it's pinned. If it's not pinned, I'll go after the live, I'll pin it so that you can scan it. Instagram, same thing. Just scan the QR code, click the link, whichever, so you can register for the roundtable. Tomorrow, we're talking about government certifications. Not only are we talking about the difference, we're talking about, I'm giving you information so if you should pursue them or not. It's up to you. I don't tell people how to run their business. I just give you the ins and outs, and it's up to you to decide. With that said, I'm looking forward to seeing anybody on the round table tomorrow. If you join my email list, you'll stay in the know because my email list always have first dibs to everything that I do. I was looking for business owners who are seeking good help. The Department of Labor in every state is starting to host job fairs. What they're doing, or what you can do, is partner with your state. In partnering with your state, if you hire from their list of employees, you actually receive tax breaks. And you also will receive a seat at their job fairs. What is the benefit of that for you? I'm getting ready to tell you. The benefit is they do a lot of the sourcing for you. And if anybody has ever paid for any of these subscriptions, for any of the subscriptions to any of these platforms, like ZipRecruiter is very expensive. So you get to participate in the job fairs they host, which hundreds of people show up. Secondly, I believe you get access to the state's database. Third, they actually send you over a list of a list of candidates. I don't know how qualified, I'm not swearing by their system. A list of candidates based upon what you're stating to them your need is. In exchange, you receive a tax break for hiring from their system. That is why they push for state citizens to go through their workforce development as such, because they're trying to get businesses to hire through their workforce development program. The businesses who hire through workforce development receive the benefits of tax breaks and tax credits. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win for everybody. Now, go online to your state website. You'll find the representatives' information. Have the conversation. I know what they do in North Carolina. I know what they do in Maryland. I know what they do in Delaware. I'm not sure about the other 50 states. So you need to have a conversation to see what that looks like. In some states, what they do is they give you a credit on your tax bill. In some states, what they do is it boils down to a credit on your tax bill. So instead of your state labor taxes being like $5,000, they give you a credit per every hire. Sometimes I believe it's a percentage or a flat fee. Every jurisdiction does something different. So have a conversation. Call your state's workforce development office and see how they work that out. And if you do workforce development work, that's a contract. So it's a win-win. So if you need help, if you're looking for hires and you do not know how to source them, that's a great source. If you're looking to perform workforce development work, that's a great contract. It's a win-win. Once again, follow the flow of dollars. It starts on the federal level, ends on the state level. So every state has some form of workforce development that is there to support and help their local communities grow. Now, on the state level, check your county government. People sleep on the county government. Keep in mind, the government is structured federal, state, county, city. If you're in Louisiana's parish, each level has its own budget. Each level has its own procurement. Each level has its liaisons person that you should get to know. You should be attending those budget meetings. You should be attending those small business networking. You should attend all of those things. I would say attend the budget meetings because you want to meet those people. They want to hear your voices. First of all, they want to hear your voices. Secondly, you want to know who is influencing. You want to understand who is influencing the legislation that ultimately affects how you conduct business. Your ability to conduct business from home is a piece of legislation. Your ability to conduct business, to stop conducting business from home is a piece of legislation. So keep that in mind. And it's a way to connect with other people and other businesses. Somebody seeking your service is at that meeting. I'm going to say that again. Someone seeking your service is at that meeting. So not only you're receiving great information about the ebbs and flows of your city, not only are you receiving great information about the ebbs and flows of your county, not only are you meeting the people who are influencing the dollars and the flows of dollars and the distribution of contracts, you are meeting potential partners. Contracting and Business Week, day 2, we talked about strategic partnering. You're also meeting potential clients. I'm just saying, keep all of that in mind. So attend those meetings and attend them standing in power, understanding that you sit in the seat. Understand the role that you're playing when you attend. You are not an attendee, you represent your organization. So you need to attend as that representative. It is just that simple. And a lot of times, what's hindering the growth of your organization, the growth of your business, is how you represent it. You don't show up as a representative of your business, you show up as an attendee. And there's a difference. When you show up as an attendee, it's the same as going in saying, I'm a consumer. But when you show up as a business owner, you're saying, I'm an influencer. You're saying, I am somebody with a voice, and there's a voice that needs to be heard. Who wants to do business with somebody who is a shrinking violet? And there's a difference between pomposity and arrogance and confidence. Stop listening to people who's telling you your confidence is arrogance, because that's their insecurity speaking, but that's another conversation for another day. Mindset does matter. So when you attend, understand the role that you're playing and have a purpose for attending. And make it simple for people to connect with you. There's nothing worse than making a connection and they say, let's have lunch. Let's get together. Do you have XYZ? And stop listening to these people who tell you business cards are dead. I'm telling you, they're not. You know, the digital thing is nice, but I'm going to tell you, you know who I always follow up with? The people who give me the business cards. You know the people I fail to follow up with? The people who insist on this digital thing. And it's not deliberate. It's just that when you digitally send me something, I can't just tell if you're a new contact on my phone or an old one. So how am I supposed to follow up with you? I still have to remember that I met you. Whereas if I have your card, I know I just met you. I know I have to follow up with you. I know, you get what I'm saying? So unless your digital card is in some way, or you have some capability of when you swipe to that person standing out, or like I do, when I make connections, I make the appointment right then. Well, let's schedule a coffee. So not only am I connecting with them, we have a date on the books. So I have the contact information and a date. But people who keep telling people that business cards are dead and all that stuff, stop listening to that. Business cards aren't dead. Because let me tell you, those people when the glitch happened and people couldn't get into their systems, they wish they had a business card so they could have contacted some people. People missed important business meetings when that glitch happened a couple of weeks ago. And the glitch was nobody's fault, but it took hours for people to figure out what was going on. In the meantime, people weren't showing up to meetings. People didn't know what was, but they didn't have a phone number because there's so much reliance on technology. And I'm not anti-technology because I'm streaming on a phone, I'm streaming on a computer, and I have another phone. I'm anti-relying on one form of data collection. Because what happens, and this is an RFP, what happens when one form goes down? Do you have a backup? Even the government has a backup to the backup. I'm just saying. Success leaves a roadmap. My corporate mentor says that. She says success doesn't leave clues, it leaves a roadmap. We just have to follow it. And I'm going to close out the day with this. A lot of the contracts that are coming out now have the CMMI requirement, which is something I was telling people businesses would have to be watchful for. And I was told, no, they don't. And guess what? You do. So, if you have not done the work to get CMMI certified, look into it, check into it, start with the SBA. Also, the SBA certification system is down effective tomorrow. Yeah, August 1st is tomorrow. Effective tomorrow. But that's okay. Because we're going to create a plan for these certifications people want to get. Because getting certified and you don't have a plan for it is a big waste of time. You have to have a plan to go with everything. So I'll see you tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for another edition of Contracting Chatter. For those of you who register, I will see you at the Contractors Roundtable for our discussion on government certifications and the roles they play. Now, if you want to support the platform so that we can continue broadcasting, bring on additional guests, my Venmo is LTACG. You can send in a donation. All donations are appreciated. Also, remember, I've opened up enrollment in the Chatter family, which is, good morning, Dwayne, which is my subscription service. Basically, the Chatter family entitles you to subscribers only lives, a newsletter, and special classes. When you're in Chatter family, you're automatically enrolled in things such as the Contractors Roundtable. You're automatically VIP in my summits. So when I host summits such as Contractor and Business Week, you're automatically enrolled in the VIP just because you're a part of the Chatter family. And there's a few other perks, but we won't go into today. So with that, have an amazing day. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm your host, Luciana Turner, the founder of the LT&A Consulting Group. And have an amazing day. Remember, a stressed mind will never create. So when you run into a problem, walk away from it for a little bit. Relax, decompress. because your answer is always in your peace, not in the middle of the storm. Have a good day.